You have arrived at this wisdom because the universe knows you are ready. For centuries, these teachings were safeguarded, whispered from master to student, hidden in plain sight. Now, they are yours to awaken the truth. Your thoughts shape reality, and your beliefs hold the power to dissolve every limitation you've ever known. The Reality Shift. Introduction. The ancient wisdom you are about to receive has journeyed through time, preserved by those who understood its sacred power. These teachings were not meant to remain hidden forever. They waited in silence for the exact moment when humanity would be ready to embrace their transformative truth. You have arrived at this manuscript because the universe has deemed you prepared. The words before you contain knowledge that has shaped the destinies of great civilizations, guided enlightened masters, and transformed ordinary individuals into creators of their own reality. This wisdom was not lost by accident. It was deliberately concealed by those who feared its power to liberate humanity from the chains of limited thinking. The principles contained within these chapters transcend the boundaries of time and culture. They speak of universal laws so fundamental that they underpin the very fabric of existence. These are not mere theories or modern interpretations. They are the original teachings that reveal how thought shapes reality, how consciousness creates form, and how intention manifests destiny. As you turn each page, you will recognize truths that your soul has always known but your mind has forgotten. The veil between what is possible and impossible will dissolve, revealing a world where your thoughts hold the power to reshape reality itself. This knowledge has been safeguarded through ages, transmitted in whispers, encoded in symbols, and preserved in sacred texts, until now. What lies ahead is not merely information to be learned, but wisdom to be awakened. Each revelation will resonate with an inner knowing, as though you are remembering rather than learning. The universe has orchestrated countless events to bring these teachings into your hands at this precise moment. You stand at the threshold of transformation. The choice to step forward is yours, but know this. Once you glimpse the true nature of reality, you can never return to the limitations of your former understanding. Part 1. Awakening and Foundations. Chapter 1. The Grand Illusion. In a bustling city lived a young man named Walter who trudged through each day believing himself a victim of circumstance. His shoulders bore the weight of countless impossibilities. Dreams deemed too grand, aspirations labeled unrealistic. Like so many others, he accepted these limitations as immutable laws of existence. Then came the morning when Walter encountered an elderly man in the park, seated in perfect stillness beneath an ancient oak. The stranger's eyes held a light that seemed to pierce through layers of illusion. "You believe yourself trapped," the old man said, though Walter had spoken no words. "But tell me, who built these walls you cannot pass?" This simple question shattered Walter's world like a stone through glass. In that moment, he glimpsed the truth that had always existed beneath his perceived reality. Every barrier, every limitation, every cannot and impossible existed first in his mind before manifesting in his experience. The physical world you see around you is not fixed or solid. It is a projection of consciousness, a mirror, reflecting back the sum of your deepest beliefs. Most walk through life as Walter did, accepting without question the boundaries placed upon them by society, family, or their own minds. They live within a collective dream, believing themselves powerless against the rules of reality. Consider Mildred, who spent 60 years believing life was meant to be endured rather than enjoyed. Each morning she would wake to thoughts of scarcity, mentally rehearsing all the ways life had wronged her. Her home became filled with evidence supporting her beliefs: unpaid bills, broken relationships, missed opportunities. Only in her final years did she realize that every hardship she had experienced was first seeded in her own mind, watered by her expectations, and harvested through her unquestioning acceptance of limitation. Your reality is not happening to you. It is happening from you. Every experience, every circumstance, every moment of your life flows from the reality you have accepted as true. The walls that seem to contain you exist only because you grant them existence through your belief in their power. The ancient practice of belief dissolution. Find a quiet space where you won't be disturbed. Close your eyes and bring to mind a limitation you've accepted as truth. Perhaps it concerns money, relationships, or your own capabilities. Now imagine this belief as a solid wall before you. Touch it. Feel its seemingly unmovable nature. Then ask yourself, who built this wall? When did I first accept this as truth? What if this limitation exists only because I believe it must? Let your mind open to the possibility that this wall is made not of stone, but of thought. Feel it begin to dissolve as you question its reality. Do this practice daily, choosing a different limiting belief each time, and watch as the prison of your old reality begins to crumble. Chapter 2: The Forbidden Law of Reality Shifting. You now stand at the threshold of understanding that will transform your perception of reality itself. Let us explore the tale of Eleanor, whose journey mirrors the awakening that awaits within these chapters. In the sterile confines of her laboratory, Eleanor devoted her life to understanding the fixed laws of physics. Each experiment reinforced her belief in an unchangeable universe, until the day she discovered a weathered manuscript hidden in her grandfather's study. Its chapters spoke of ancient wisdom that defied everything she knew about reality. At first, she dismissed these teachings as mystical nonsense, yet something stirred within her, a recognition of truth that transcended her rational mind. Following the manuscript's instructions, she began observing her thoughts and their correlation to the world around her. Small changes appeared first: a parking space manifesting just as she needed it, a phone call from someone she'd been thinking of, objects relocating themselves in ways that defied probability. The universe responds to the frequency of your thoughts and emotions with perfect precision. Like attracts like. This is not merely a poetic notion, but a fundamental law of existence. Your consciousness is not contained within your physical form, but extends into the quantum field itself, where thoughts become things. This knowledge has been concealed because an awakened population cannot be controlled through fear and limitation. Consider Robert, a humble shopkeeper who lived in ignorance of these truths. For years, he carried a vivid image of owning a thriving business by the sea. Though he took no conscious steps toward this dream, circumstances began mysteriously aligning. A distant relative left him an inheritance. A prime storefront became available at exactly the right moment. Looking back, he realized his unwavering belief had shaped reality itself, though he had no knowledge of the process. The truth stands before you now. Reality is as fluid as your thoughts. Every moment you are either consciously or unconsciously molding your experience through the power of your dominant beliefs and emotions. Practice. Find a quiet space and bring to mind a small but specific change you wish to see in your immediate environment. Perhaps a particular object appearing, a specific person contacting you, or an unexpected gift arriving. Hold this image with unwavering clarity for several minutes, feeling the emotion of it already being done. Then release it completely, knowing the universe has received your instruction. Remain watchful over the next few days, for reality will begin shifting to match your vision. Chapter 3. The Lost Power of Thought and Spoken Word. Through the mists of time, a sacred truth emerges about the power held within your words. Let us examine the tale of Clarence, for in his story lies a key to unlocking the creative force that shapes existence itself. In a modest apartment filled with rejection letters, Clarence spent his nights crafting stories that never seemed to find their audience. Until one evening, an elderly bookseller pressed a leather-bound volume into his hands. Its chapters yellowed with age. "The ancients understood what we have forgotten," she whispered, before disappearing into the shadows of her shop. Within those ancient chapters, Clarence discovered that words were not mere symbols, but vessels of creative energy. Each syllable carried a vibrational signature that rippled through the fabric of reality. As he began practicing this forgotten art, speaking his intentions with deliberate care, his world transformed. Publishers began calling. Opportunities materialized. The very atmosphere around him seemed to shift in response to his carefully chosen words. You see, your words are seeds planted in the fertile soil of the universe. Every utterance shapes the unseen forces that govern your existence. The ancients understood this profound truth. It is why their mantras and incantations held such power. It is why sacred texts across all traditions emphasize the importance of measured speech. In the marketplace of life, Harriet walked with shoulders bent, her words weaving a cage of limitation around her. "I never catch a break," she would say. "Nothing ever works out for me." And so it was, for the universe faithfully echoed her declarations. Yet when she learned to speak with intention, replacing "I can't" with "I am capable," her reality began to mirror her new narrative. Her words became brushstrokes, painting a different destiny. The power of speech is your birthright, a gift bestowed by the divine. When you speak, you invoke the same creative force that set the stars in motion. Your words are spells, incantations that program the matrix of reality. Ancient practice of verbal alchemy. Choose one phrase you speak regularly that diminishes your power. Now, craft its opposite, a declaration of strength. Stand before a mirror at sunrise or sunset. Speaking with clear intention, repeat your new declaration 7 times. "I am the master of my destiny, creating prosperity with every word I speak." Feel each word resonate through your being, knowing that as you speak, so shall it be. Chapter 4. The Veil of Amnesia. Within the depths of your being lies a power so vast it had to be hidden from you. The truth of your divine nature was too magnificent for those who sought to control and limit human potential. Let us explore how this came to be through the tale of Leonard. Leonard walked through life sensing an emptiness he couldn't name, like a book missing its most important chapter. Each night he dreamed of flying, of moving objects with his mind, of speaking to animals, dreams that felt more like memories than fantasy. One morning while clearing his mother's attic, he discovered his childhood journal. As he turned its chapters, fragments of truth began breaking through the walls of forgetting. You see, every child enters this world knowing their true nature as a creator. Before the veil of limitation descends, they understand that reality responds to their thoughts and intentions. Leonard's journal spoke of times he made rain stop by asking, of toys that appeared after he drew them, of healing his pet bird with just his touch. But then came the voices. Stop being silly. That's impossible. Get your head out of the clouds. Each correction, each dismissal, built another layer of forgetting. The universe has preserved these memories within you, waiting for the moment you would be ready to reclaim them. Your power was not lost. It was hidden, buried beneath years of programming designed to make you doubt your own divinity. Agnes understood this truth in her final moments. As she lay in her hospital bed, memories flooded back with crystal clarity. She remembered sitting in her grandmother's garden, whispering to flowers that bloomed at her command. She recalled knowing, with absolute certainty, that she could shape the world with her thoughts. But society demanded she forget, insisted she accept a world of limitations and rules. The time has come to remember. Your power remains intact, waiting to be awakened. The programming that taught you to doubt, to fear, to limit yourself, it can be undone. For what was forgotten can be remembered, and what was hidden can be revealed. Sacred practice, the remembering. Take 3 deep breaths and close your eyes. Allow your mind to drift back to your earliest memories. In your journal, write about times when you knew, without doubt, that you could create your reality. What did that certainty feel like? What made you begin to doubt? Write down every message, every experience that taught you to forget your power. Then, beside each limiting belief, writing its opposite truth. They told me it was impossible becomes, I am unlimited in my creative power. This is your first step in dismantling the prison of forgetting. Through this practice, you begin to reclaim what was always yours. Chapter 5. The Universal Current. Within the ancient scrolls lies a truth about the nature of creation itself, one that reveals how effortlessly abundance flows when you align with the cosmic rhythms that govern all things. In a distant mountain village lived Edwin, whose days were spent in constant struggle, forcing his will upon a seemingly resistant world. Each morning he would wake before dawn, pushing himself through exhausting routines, believing that only through relentless effort could he achieve his dreams. Yet the harder he pushed, the more life seemed to push back. One evening, as shadows lengthened across the valley, Edwin encountered an aged mystic sitting peacefully by a stream. The old one's eyes held wisdom earned through countless seasons of watching nature's ways. You fight too hard against the current, the sage observed. See how the water flows. It does not struggle to reach the sea. It simply follows its natural course. Through the sage's guidance, Edwin learned that the universe operates in perfect cycles, times of action and rest, giving and receiving, expansion and contraction. These rhythms exist not to restrict, but to create order from chaos. When you align your thoughts and actions with these natural currents, manifestation becomes as natural as a seed sprouting in spring. This eternal truth reveals itself through Doris, a merchant who spent years forcing her business ventures through sheer determination. Despite working longer hours than any of her competitors, success remained elusive. Only when she learned to tune in to the subtle promptings of her intuition, knowing when to advance and when to wait, did abundance begin flowing effortlessly into her life. The universe speaks through feelings. When you feel contracted, stressed, or overwhelmed, you are pushing against the natural flow. But when you sense expansion, lightness, and joy, you have aligned with creation's rhythm. This alignment is your natural state, the way you were meant to live before the world taught you to struggle. Practice. The ancient art of flow. Find a quiet space where you won't be disturbed. Throughout your day, pause regularly to observe your emotional state. Notice when you feel contracted or expanded, resistant or flowing. Without judgment, simply witness these states. When you recognize tension or resistance, breathe deeply and ask, how can I flow with life in this moment rather than fight against it? Let your inner wisdom guide you to a state of allowance. As you practice this awareness, you'll naturally begin sensing the optimal times for action and rest. Your manifestations will unfold with grace, like a flower opening to the sun. This is the forgotten art of flowing with the universe, a practice that transforms manifestation from struggle into effortless creation. Chapter 6. The Manifestation Code, hidden in ancient texts. In the heart of an ancient library, beneath layers of dust and forgotten memories, lies a truth so powerful, it had been guarded by secret societies throughout the ages. This knowledge, encoded within sacred texts across civilizations, reveals the precise science of manifestation that your ancestors once wielded with masterful precision. Franklin, a humble scholar, discovered this wisdom within the yellowed chapters of a manuscript hidden between mundane historical records. As his trembling fingers traced the cryptic symbols, he recognized patterns that appeared in texts spanning continents and millennia. The same sacred formulas emerged in Egyptian hieroglyphs, Vedic sutras, and biblical passages, each holding pieces of a universal code. You too possess this innate ability to decode and apply these timeless principles. The ancients understood that creation follows specific patterns, sacred geometries that, when properly aligned, allow desires to materialize with mathematical certainty. These patterns were deliberately obscured, corrupted through mistranslations and strategic omissions, to prevent this power from reaching those deemed unworthy. The manuscript revealed that manifestation operates through precise spiritual algorithms. Just as a master musician must understand rhythm, harmony, and tempo to create beautiful music, you must grasp the divine mathematics of creation to orchestrate your reality. This is not mere wishful thinking. It is an exact science that has been hidden in plain sight. Mabel, a seamstress living in quiet solitude, unknowingly demonstrated these principles. Each evening, she would sit in her garden, expressing gratitude while visualizing her desires with unwavering clarity. Without knowing the ancient formulas, she naturally aligned with the sacred patterns. Within months, opportunities emerged that transformed her modest sewing business into a thriving enterprise, bringing abundance beyond her wildest dreams. To access this power yourself, begin with the sacred pattern practice. Find a quiet space and draw a circle on paper. This represents the infinite potential of the universe. Within it, write your desire in present tense. Around the circle, inscribe 3 qualities you associate with this desire. As you do this, feel the emotion of already having received it. This mirrors the ancient Egyptian practice of sealing manifestations within sacred circles, creating a geometric bridge between thought and form. Repeat this ritual for 7 consecutive days, adding a new quality each day while maintaining perfect clarity of vision. This mirrors the 7 stages of creation found in sacred texts worldwide. On the final day, burn the paper while declaring, "As it is written, so it shall be." This act releases your intention into the universal matrix, activating the ancient codes of manifestation. The power has always been yours, encoded in your very DNA, waiting to be remembered. Through these sacred practices, you reclaim your birthright as a conscious creator of reality. Chapter 7. The Law They Erased from History. In the shadows of an ancient library, Harold traced his fingers across weathered manuscripts, his heart quickening as forgotten symbols revealed themselves. Through years of research, this dedicated historian had sensed there was something more, a missing piece that would complete the cosmic puzzle of manifestation. What he uncovered would shake the foundations of everything you have been taught about creating your reality. The law of attraction, while powerful, is merely the surface of a deeper truth. Behind it lies an even more potent force, the law of assumption. This sacred knowledge was systematically removed from spiritual texts, deemed too powerful for the masses to wield. Yet its essence remained, whispering through the ages to those ready to receive it. When you truly understand this hidden law, you realize that reality is not attracted to you. It emanates from you. Every circumstance in your life is a direct reflection of your assumed state of being. The world around you must conform to the reality you embody within. This is not about attracting what you want. It is about becoming what you desire. Florence, a modest shopkeeper, embodied this truth without knowing its name. Each morning, she would walk through her small store as if it were already the thriving business she dreamed of. She spoke to invisible customers, arranged displays for products she didn't yet stock, and counted imaginary profits with complete conviction. Within months, her visualization became reality, not through external attraction, but through her unwavering assumption of success. The physical world has no choice but to reshape itself around your assumed state. This is why those who guard humanity's spiritual evolution have kept this knowledge hidden. The law of assumption bypasses the need for action, effort, or time. It operates instantly when your consciousness shifts completely into your desired state. To harness this power, close your eyes and step fully into the reality you wish to experience. Feel the weight of your body in that new circumstance. Breathe the air of that reality. Let every sense become saturated with the absolute knowing that you are already living your desire. Hold this state until it feels more real than your current circumstances. The external world must now bend to match your internal state. This is the immutable law of creation. This practice is not about imagining a future possibility. It is about assuming a present reality. The difference is subtle but profound. Do not visualize what you want to happen. Embody what is already true. The universe will rearrange itself accordingly, for it must maintain consistency with your assumed state of being. Chapter 8. The Alchemy of Perception. In an age where science claims to understand the mechanics of sight, there exists a truth far more extraordinary than what your eyes perceive. The story of Archibald, a respected optometrist, unveils this hidden wisdom. For 30 years, Archibald had examined thousands of eyes, prescribing lenses to correct what he believed were fixed imperfections in human vision. Yet one morning, as he adjusted his equipment for another routine examination, A startling revelation struck him. A patient who had struggled with severe myopia for decades suddenly tested with perfect vision. When questioned, she spoke of a recent shift in how she viewed her life, no longer seeing obstacles, but opportunities. This incident awakened something within Archibald. He began observing how his patients' visual acuity often correlated with their internal state. Those who approached life with clarity saw clearly. Those who felt blocked often developed physical barriers to sight. Your perception is not a passive receiver of reality. It is the active force that shapes what manifests before you. The ancients understood this profound truth. The eye does not merely see, it creates what it sees. Every object, every circumstance you encounter, first takes form in the realm of your perception before materializing in the physical world. Consider Esther, who lived modestly in a small apartment, always viewing herself as someone who struggled with money. Her perception of lack created a constant stream of unexpected expenses and financial difficulties. Then one day, while cleaning her grandmother's attic, she discovered an old journal filled with stories of family wealth and abundance. As she read, something shifted in her perception. She began seeing herself as someone who came from prosperity, who naturally attracted wealth. Within weeks, opportunities began appearing. An forgotten investment matured. A distant relative left an inheritance. Clients sought her services at higher rates. The external world transformed to match her new internal vision. What you perceive becomes your reality. This is not metaphor, but law. The universe responds not to what is, but to how you see what is. Your perception acts as a lens through which the formless takes form. The ancient practice of perceptual alchemy. Choose one recurring pattern in your life that you wish to transform. Spend 5 minutes each morning seeing it differently in your mind's eye. If you perceive lack, see abundance. If you perceive struggle, see ease. Hold this new vision until it feels more real than the old pattern. Watch as the external world shifts to match your transformed perception. Chapter 9: Unseen Forces. In the depths of a mountain observatory, where the boundaries between science and mystery blur, there lived an astronomer named Horus. Night after night, he charted celestial bodies, documenting their precise movements across the vast expanse of space. Yet something nagged at his consciousness, a peculiar pattern that defied conventional explanation. You see, the universe operates through invisible forces that guide every particle, every thought, and every moment of existence. Just as gravity silently shapes the dance of planets, unseen architects mold the circumstances of your life. These forces whisper through synchronicities, weaving patterns that most dismiss as mere coincidence. Horus discovered this truth as he noticed how stellar alignments mysteriously corresponded with earthly events. The more he studied both scientific journals and ancient mystical texts, the clearer it became. Everything in existence follows hidden laws, operating in perfect harmony beneath the surface of apparent chaos. The universe speaks in the language of synchronicity. When you align with its flow, meaningful coincidences multiply, guiding you toward your highest path. These are not random events, but signposts from the invisible architects of reality. Take Beatrice, whose life transformed when she released her grip on control. She began noticing small signs, a book falling open to exactly the page she needed, chance encounters with people who held keys to her dreams, numbers and symbols appearing in meaningful sequences. As she learned to trust these subtle messages, her desires manifested with supernatural ease. The external world mirrors the internal. When you attune yourself to these hidden forces, they work in concert with your intentions. Every coincidence carries a message. Every seemingly random event holds purpose. The universe constantly arranges circumstances to support your evolution, but you must learn to recognize its language. To begin working with these invisible architects, maintain awareness of meaningful patterns in your daily life. Record each synchronicity, no matter how small it seems. Notice recurring numbers, repeated phrases, or chance meetings that feel significant. These are not mere coincidences. They are communications from the universe itself, guiding you toward your highest potential. Practice the Synchronicity Journal. Each evening, document 3 seemingly coincidental events from your day, no matter how insignificant they may first appear. Note any patterns in numbers, symbols, or encounters that caught your attention. Perhaps you saw the same sequence of numbers repeatedly, encountered 3 people mentioning the same book, or experienced a chain of events that seemed too perfect to be random. Ask yourself, what message might these events carry? What guidance are they offering? What deeper truth lies beneath the surface of these apparent coincidences? Keep this record for 7 days, watching how the patterns evolve as your awareness expands. You may notice certain themes emerging, or find that similar symbols appear in different forms. Trust that each synchronicity holds meaning, even if its significance isn't immediately clear. The invisible architects of reality will begin revealing their presence more clearly as you acknowledge their subtle influence, gradually lifting the veil between the seen and unseen realms. Your recognition of these patterns serves as an invitation for even more synchronistic events to manifest in your life. Chapter 10. Rewriting the Cosmic Script of Your Life. In a dimly lit theater, long after the audience had departed, Clyde sat alone among empty seats, his weathered notebook open before him. As a playwright, he had spent years crafting stories for others, never realizing he was simultaneously authoring his own existence. You possess this same power of authorship over your life's narrative. Every belief you hold writes itself into the fabric of your reality, manifesting as the circumstances you experience. Your thoughts are not mere responses to life. They are the very pen with which you write it. The universe operates as a grand theater, responding to the script you have written in your consciousness. When you understand this truth, you realize that no circumstance is fixed, no situation permanent. Each moment offers an opportunity to revise your story, to rewrite the beliefs that have shaped your world. Clyde discovered this when he began examining his own life's narrative. He saw how his unconscious beliefs about struggle and limitation had manifested as exactly those experiences. The moment he deliberately revised his internal script, seeing himself as successful and fulfilled, the external world began rearranging itself to match this new story. Virginia's tale mirrors this truth. For 30 years, she lived a story of inadequacy, her every failure reinforcing this false narrative. Then one day, she understood. She had been the author all along. With trembling hands, she began rewriting her story, no longer casting herself as the victim but as the hero of her own tale. As her internal narrative shifted, so too did her external reality, until her life no longer resembled the story of limitation she had once believed. Your power lies in recognizing that you are the author of your existence. Every belief you hold is a line in your script. Every thought, a direction for the cosmic stage. By consciously choosing the story you tell yourself, you reshape the very foundation of your reality. Take your journal now. Choose a significant event from your past, one that has shaped your self-perception. Write it again, not as it appeared to happen, but as you now understand it from a position of power and wisdom. See how this event served your growth, how it strengthened rather than weakened you. Feel the shift as you transform from a character in someone else's play to the author of your own magnificent story. This practice of conscious authorship will begin altering the very substance of your reality. Watch as the world responds to your revised narrative, reflecting back the empowered story you have chosen to tell. Part 2. Deepening Understanding and Practice. Chapter 11. Breaking the Illusion of Consensus Reality. In the bustling newsroom of a prominent city paper, Gerald sat at his desk, surrounded by stacks of articles waiting for his approval. Each day, he dutifully processed these stories, deciding which truths would reach the eyes of thousands. Yet something stirred within him, a growing awareness that shook the very foundation of his understanding. You too have been immersed in a world of predetermined beliefs, accepting without question the reality presented to you. From your earliest moments, you have been told what is possible and what is not, what to value and what to dismiss, what to believe and what to doubt. Think of money, a simple piece of paper that holds power only because humanity collectively agrees it does. Consider success, a concept defined by others yet accepted as universal truth. Examine your beliefs about what you can achieve, and you will find most are not your own, but inherited from a vast web of social conditioning. Gerald's awakening came when he noticed how readily people accepted whatever appeared in print, rarely questioning the source of their convictions. As he traced the origin of his own beliefs, he discovered most were not born from personal experience, but absorbed from external sources claiming authority over truth. Eleanor's story illuminates this principle with striking clarity. Raised in a family of doctors, she had accepted without question that security meant following a traditional career path. Yet when she finally examined this belief, she realized it was merely a construct, one she could choose to release. Breaking free from these inherited limitations, she began crafting a life that others deemed impossible. She started a revolutionary business that combined healing arts with technology, defying every logical argument against its success. Her reality transformed not because she fought against existing structures, but because she simply stopped believing in their power over her. The truth that few dare to acknowledge is this: reality is not a solid, immovable force, but a fluid expression of collective agreement. When you withdraw your consent from limiting beliefs, you free yourself from their influence. Your practice now is to examine the invisible chains of societal conditioning. Take your journal and write down 3 truths you have accepted without question. Perhaps it's the belief that success requires struggle, that wealth only comes through specific channels, or that your capabilities are fixed by education or background. Next to each, craft a new belief that aligns with your highest vision for yourself. Feel the shift as you consciously choose your own truth, releasing the weight of societal expectations. This act of conscious belief selection will begin dissolving the invisible barriers that have confined your potential. Watch as reality reshapes itself around your newly chosen truths, responding not to what others claim is possible, but to what you know is possible. Chapter 12: The Conscious Creator's Hidden Manual. A worn leather tome rests upon an ancient oak shelf, its chapters yellowed by time but preserved by forces beyond mortal understanding. Within these sacred leaves lies a truth so fundamental, it has shaped every moment of your existence, though you have forgotten this power. In the depths of consciousness, you are crafting reality with each breath, each thought, each subtle shift of awareness. This wisdom comes to light through the tale of Wallace, who discovered this very manuscript while organizing forgotten volumes in the library's restricted section. As his trembling hands turned each page, the truth of existence unfolded before him. Reality is not a random sequence of events, but a carefully orchestrated dance between consciousness and creation. Your world, in every detail, flows from an eternal blueprint, one that you have written in the depths of your being. Every circumstance, every encounter, every moment of triumph or challenge stems from this divine architecture of thought and belief. The universe is not happening to you, it is responding through you. Marjorie discovered this truth in the quiet hours of dawn, when her mind was still enough to recognize the patterns. She saw how her fear of abandonment had manifested in a series of unfulfilling relationships, how her doubt about financial security had created cycles of lack, and how her deepest beliefs about herself had painted the canvas of her life with unerring precision. But as she began to understand her role as the architect of her experience, everything shifted. With each conscious choice, each deliberate thought, she rewrote the blueprint of her reality. The universe, ever faithful to her internal vision, responded in kind. You too hold this power, this sacred ability to shape the very fabric of existence. The blueprint of your life awaits your conscious direction. Practice the Creator's meditation. Find a quiet space where you will remain undisturbed. Close your eyes and breathe deeply, allowing your awareness to expand beyond the physical form. Visualize yourself rising above your current circumstances, seeing the vast tapestry of your life spread out before you. Now, recognize yourself as the divine architect of this reality. Feel the infinite power that flows through your consciousness. See the blueprint of your existence, every detail, every pattern, every connection. Watch as it shifts and changes with your intention. Take hold of this blueprint with loving authority. Begin to adjust it, aligning each element with your highest vision. Feel the resonance as the universe acknowledges your role as creator. Remain in this state of conscious creation for several minutes, knowing that as you shift the blueprint within, the outer world must transform to match your new design. When ready, slowly return to normal awareness, carrying with you the unshakable knowledge of your creative power. Chapter 13: Time Collapsing. In the hallowed halls of quantum physics, where reality's deepest mysteries unfold, Archie stood before his equations, sensing something profound hidden within the mathematical dance of particles and waves. For years, he had followed conventional scientific wisdom, viewing time as an arrow moving inexorably forward. Yet one evening, as he reviewed his calculations, a startling truth emerged. Time itself was merely another construct of consciousness. Through meticulous observation and experimentation, Archie discovered that events did not unfold in the linear progression humanity had assumed. Instead, all possibilities existed simultaneously, waiting to be activated by the observer's expectations and beliefs. His breakthrough came when he realized that by shifting his consciousness to a specific outcome, he could collapse time itself, bringing distant futures into immediate manifestation. The universe operates not through the mechanical ticking of seconds, but through the fluid dance of consciousness. When you truly understand this principle, you realize that the gap between desire and manifestation exists only in your acceptance of time as a barrier. Your thoughts are not creating a future reality. They are selecting from infinite realities that already exist. Consider Bernice, who dreamed of establishing a worldwide charitable foundation. Initially, she created detailed 5-year plans, believing such an endeavor required extensive time to materialize. But after discovering these ancient principles, she realized time was merely a construct of her own making. In one profound moment of clarity, she shifted her consciousness to embody the version of herself who had already achieved this dream. Within weeks, a series of synchronicities brought her into contact with key benefactors, and her foundation manifested with stunning rapidity. The key lies not in waiting for time to deliver your desires, but in recognizing that all possibilities exist now. By shifting your consciousness to the version of you who already possesses what you seek, you collapse the illusion of time and draw that reality into your immediate experience. Practice the timeline jump. Close your eyes and breathe deeply. Allow your consciousness to expand beyond the limitations of linear time. See before you multiple versions of yourself, each existing in different realities. Among them stands the version who has already achieved what you desire. Study this self. Notice their posture, their energy, their complete embodiment of your fulfilled desire. Now, step forward and merge with this version of you. Feel their consciousness becoming your consciousness. Their reality is your reality. Their achievements are your achievements. Rest in this knowing, allowing your current self to align fully with this expanded state of being. The gap between wanting and having dissolves in this eternal now. Chapter 14. The universe's hidden intelligence and your role in it. In the quiet halls of a prestigious university, Everett pored over scientific journals, seeking evidence that could explain the peculiar patterns emerging in his life. A mathematician by training, he had always dismissed notions of divine guidance as mere superstition. Yet time and again, he encountered moments that defied statistical probability. When you open yourself to the wisdom of the universe, you begin to recognize that coincidence is merely the language through which higher intelligence speaks. Like Everett, you may have noticed unexpected meetings that led to breakthrough opportunities, or chance encounters that solved seemingly impossible problems. The universe operates as a vast conscious network, responding to your thoughts and intentions with precise orchestration. This is not blind faith, but a demonstrable principle that reveals itself to those who pay attention. Every event, every circumstance, every apparent obstacle carries within it a message, a direction, a purpose. Through careful observation, Everett noticed that whenever he faced a crucial decision, relevant information would appear in unexpected forms. A random conversation, an article that caught his eye, or a wrong turn that led to the right destination. These were not random occurrences, but responses from an intelligence that perpetually guides all of creation. Cecilia discovered this truth through different means. After losing her life savings in a failed venture, she began asking the universe for direction. Rather than forcing solutions, she learned to quiet her mind and listen. Signs appeared in various forms: a recurring number sequence, a book falling from a shelf, or an overheard conversation that contained exactly the guidance she needed. By following these subtle indicators, she rebuilt her life in ways far grander than she had initially imagined. The universe speaks constantly through the language of synchronicity. Every moment contains a message. Every experience offers guidance. When you align yourself with this intelligence, you tap into a wisdom far greater than individual knowledge could provide. Practice. Each morning, pose a specific question to the universe. Throughout the day, remain alert to unusual occurrences, unexpected meetings, or recurring themes. Record these signs in a journal, noting how they relate to your inquiry. This ancient method of communion with universal intelligence will reveal pathways previously hidden from view. As you practice this daily ritual, you'll discover that the universe has always been communicating with you. The only difference is that now you're learning to listen. Through patience and dedication, your awareness will expand like ripples on still water, revealing patterns and messages that were previously invisible to your conscious mind. What once seemed like mere coincidence will transform into clear guidance as your inner wisdom awakens to the subtle language of synchronicity. Trust in this process, for it has guided seekers through the ages, illuminating paths toward their highest destiny. Chapter 15. Unshakable Belief. In the bustling streets of a city where dreams often died quietly, Horace stood before his empty storefront, contemplating his seventh business failure. As rain pelted the windows, he noticed an old journal wedged beneath the door, its chapters filled with accounts of history's greatest achievements. You possess within you the same force that has moved mountains, built empires, and transformed the impossible into reality. This power lies not in action, but in the unshakable certainty that precedes all meaningful change. Through countless hours studying success, Horace uncovered a truth so fundamental it had escaped notice. Every person who achieved the seemingly impossible shared one trait. They held their vision with such unwavering conviction that reality had no choice but to conform. They did not hope, wish, or try. They knew. When you understand this principle, you realize that manifestation requires no complex techniques or endless affirmations. It demands only one thing: absolute, uncompromising certainty. This is not the superficial positivity that dissolves at the first sign of resistance, but a bone-deep knowing that transcends all evidence to the contrary. Horace began applying this wisdom with fierce dedication. He chose a single thought: my business attracts endless customers, and held it with the same certainty with which he knew the sun would rise. Within days, unexpected opportunities emerged. A major retailer discovered his products. A viral social media post brought waves of customers. His certainty had bent reality to match his inner vision. Consider Mildred, who spent decades doubting her artistic abilities. Each attempt at success was undermined by her own uncertainty until she made a decisive choice. One morning she declared, "I am a successful artist," with the same conviction with which she knew her own name. She eliminated every thought that contradicted this truth. Within weeks, a prestigious gallery discovered her work, launching the career she'd always envisioned. Ancient practice, the certainty ritual. Find a quiet space where you will remain undisturbed. Choose one belief about yourself or your reality that you will hold as absolute truth. Write this belief on a piece of paper. Now, close your eyes and feel the unwavering certainty of something you know beyond doubt. Perhaps that the ground beneath you is solid, or that the sky is above. Take this same level of certainty and transfer it to your chosen belief. Breathe it into every cell of your being until no space remains for doubt. Carry this certainty with you, guarding it as you would guard a precious truth about your own existence. The universe has no choice but to reshape itself around your unshakable knowing. Chapter 16. The Quantum Leap Formula. In the quiet halls of a prestigious university, Lester traced complex equations across his chalkboard, searching for patterns in mathematical progression. For years, he had accepted that change must follow a linear path, until a revelation shattered this assumption. You have been taught that transformation requires countless small steps, each building upon the last. This is perhaps the greatest deception ever perpetrated upon those seeking to alter their reality. The truth, which mathematics itself reveals, is that change can happen in quantum leaps. When you grasp this principle, you understand that reality responds not to gradual effort, but to immediate shifts in identity. Just as water changes state instantly at its boiling point, your circumstances transform the moment you fully embody your desired state of being. Consider Francis, who spent decades believing success required years of incremental progress. One evening, after studying ancient wisdom texts, she made a decision that altered everything. Instead of working toward becoming successful, she simply became successful in her mind. She went to sleep that night as a different person, thinking, feeling, and believing as her future self would. When she awoke, opportunities that had been invisible suddenly appeared, as if reality itself had reorganized around her new identity. The universe does not require you to climb every step of the ladder. You can quantum leap to your desired reality by shifting your identity now. This is not pretense or imagination. It is the activation of a universal law that responds to consciousness itself. Practice the quantum identity shift. Find a quiet space where you won't be disturbed. Close your eyes and breathe deeply. Now, instead of visualizing your future self, become that self completely. Feel how your future self carries their body, thinks their thoughts, experiences their emotions. What decisions would they make? How would they respond to challenges? What would they see when they look in the mirror? Maintain this state of being for the next hour, allowing no doubts or old patterns to intrude. You're not practicing or pretending. You are shifting into a new identity. The external world has no choice but to reflect this internal transformation. Repeat this practice daily until your new identity becomes your natural state of being. Let it become as automatic as breathing, as instinctive as opening your eyes each morning. Soon, you will notice that you no longer need to consciously step into this elevated version of yourself. You will simply be it. Watch as reality bends to match your shifted consciousness, often in ways that seem to defy conventional logic or time itself. The universe has no choice but to reflect back your transformed state, rearranging circumstances and opportunities to align with who you have become. What once appeared as obstacles will dissolve before your newfound presence, and doors you never knew existed will open effortlessly before you. Chapter 17. The Mirror Universe. In the heart of a bustling city, Ralph stood before his canvas, paintbrush trembling in his hand. Each stroke seemed to echo his inner turmoil, creating images that spoke of struggle and limitation. Yet in that moment of deepest frustration, a truth unveiled itself, one that would transform not just his art, but the very fabric of his existence. You must understand that your external world serves as a perfect mirror, reflecting back every belief, every assumption, every emotional current that flows through your being. This is not metaphor, but cosmic law. The universe responds not to what you do, but to what you are. When you look upon your circumstances, you witness not random events, but the manifestation of your inner landscape. Every challenge, every triumph, every seemingly chance encounter emerges from the depths of your consciousness. The ancients understood this principle, encoding it in sacred texts, as within, so without. Consider Edna, whose life seemed trapped in an endless cycle of financial hardship. Bills mounted, opportunities vanished, and abundance appeared forever out of reach. Yet her external reality merely echoed her internal programming. Beliefs of scarcity absorbed in childhood, feelings of unworthiness carried through decades. The moment she recognized this truth, everything shifted. By transforming her relationship with abundance at the deepest level, her external world reorganized itself accordingly. Money began flowing from unexpected sources, opportunities materialized, and her long-held patterns of lack dissolved like morning mist. The universe operates through resonance, not through effort. Your circumstances align themselves with your dominant frequency, your core beliefs, your unconscious expectations. This is why those who struggle often continue struggling despite external changes. Their inner state remains unchanged. Practice, the mirror of reality. Take 3 situations in your life that bring discomfort or challenge. For each one, close your eyes and ask, what internal belief is this reflecting back to me? Allow the answers to emerge naturally, without judgment. Write them down. Then ask, what would I need to believe instead for this situation to transform? Feel the shift as you acknowledge your role as the creator of your experience. Remember, your reality is not happening to you, it is responding to you. In this recognition lies the key to conscious creation. Every moment, every circumstance, every encounter serves as a mirror, reflecting back the vibrations you emit into the universe. When you truly understand this profound truth, you begin to see that your life experience is not a random series of events, but rather an intricate tapestry woven from the threads of your own consciousness. This awareness grants you the power to reshape your world from within, transforming your reality by first transforming yourself. Chapter 18. Manifestation Without Effort. In the heart of a thriving metropolis, Harrison paced his office late into the night, spreadsheets and business plans scattered across his desk. His eyes were weary from countless hours of forcing solutions, pushing against the natural flow of life. You see, like many before him, he believed success came only through relentless effort and iron-willed control. The universe operates on principles far more elegant than mere force. When you release your grip on how things must unfold, you tap into a power greater than any human effort could achieve. This truth lies at the core of all creation. Surrender is not weakness, but the highest form of strength. Through your desperate attempts to control outcomes, you create resistance that blocks the very things you seek. The universe, in its infinite wisdom, already knows the shortest path to your desires. Your task is not to force the way, but to allow it to reveal itself. Consider Margaret, whose life had become a monument to control. Every detail, every outcome, every moment planned and managed with precision. Yet despite her relentless effort, true success remained elusive. It was only when she finally released her iron grip on life that everything changed. In that space of surrender, opportunities flowed naturally, solutions appeared effortlessly, and success found her without struggle. Ancient practice of divine surrender. Find a quiet space where you won't be disturbed, perhaps a sacred corner of your home or a peaceful spot in nature. Close your eyes and bring to mind something you've been trying to force into existence. Feel the weight of that struggle in your body, noticing where tension has gathered in your shoulders, chest, or mind. Now imagine releasing that weight into the universe's care, like placing a precious object into trusted hands that have held countless dreams before yours. Breathe deeply and affirm, I release my need to control this outcome. I trust in the perfect unfolding of divine timing. Let each breath carry away another layer of resistance, another thread of doubt. Remain in this state of surrender for several minutes, allowing peace to replace anxiety, trust to replace fear. Feel how lightness fills the spaces where heaviness once dwelt. As you rest in this sacred surrender, know that the universe is already orchestrating events in perfect sequence. Open your eyes when you feel complete, knowing the universe has heard your surrender and is already weaving the tapestry of manifestation in ways your limited perspective cannot yet perceive. Chapter 19. The Hidden Symbolic Language of the Universe. In the halls of an ancient university library, Gilbert traced his fingers across rows of dusty books, searching for patterns that had eluded scholars for centuries. You see, the universe speaks not just through words, but through an intricate language of symbols, numbers, and synchronicities that dance before your eyes each day. The world around you pulses with hidden messages, each one carrying guidance meant specifically for you. When you understand this sacred language, reality transforms from a series of random events into a carefully orchestrated dialogue between you and the infinite. Every recurring number that catches your attention, every animal that crosses your path at a significant moment, every dream that lingers in your morning consciousness, these are not coincidences. They are the universe's way of communicating, guiding you toward your highest path. Dorothy, a teacher from a small coastal town, began noticing the number 444 appearing everywhere. On clocks, license plates, receipts. At first, she dismissed these occurrences as mere chance, but as the pattern persisted, she opened herself to its meaning. This number, she learned, was a signal of divine protection and guidance. Following this sign led her to opportunities she would have otherwise missed, including a life-changing career shift that aligned perfectly with her true purpose. The symbols appearing in your life right now carry messages meant to guide you home to your destiny. But like any language, this cosmic communication requires study and practice to master. Sacred practice of symbol interpretation. Acquire a small notebook dedicated solely to tracking signs and symbols. Each day, record any recurring numbers, animals, objects, or patterns that draw your attention. Note the time they appear, your emotional state in that moment, and any immediate insights that arise. After 7 days, review your entries. Look for connections between the symbols and events in your life. The patterns will begin to reveal themselves, showing you the way forward on your path. This ancient practice of symbol tracking opens a direct channel of communication between you and the universal intelligence that guides all things. Remember, every symbol that appears in your awareness is a thread in the tapestry of your unfolding destiny. By learning to read these signs, you step into conscious dialogue with the universe itself. These sacred messages surround you at all times, in the flight patterns of birds overhead, in the numbers that repeatedly catch your eye, in the seemingly chance encounters that feel charged with meaning. As you develop this ancient art of symbol reading, you begin to see that nothing is truly random. Each sign serves as a divine breadcrumb, leading you deeper into alignment with your highest path. The universe speaks in this symbolic language, waiting for you to awaken to its guidance. Chapter 20. The Subconscious Reprogramming Technique That Changes Everything. In the quiet halls of a prestigious research institution, Milton sat before rows of case files, each documenting how the human mind creates its own prison. Through decades of observation, he witnessed a truth so fundamental it shook the foundations of his scientific understanding. Your reality is nothing more than a projection of your subconscious programming. You carry within you a vast network of beliefs, installed during your earliest years, that dictate every experience you encounter. These beliefs operate like hidden commands in a computer system, silently directing the course of your life without your conscious awareness. The power of this understanding cannot be overstated. Your subconscious mind does not distinguish between what is real and what is imagined. It simply accepts whatever programming it receives and manifests corresponding experiences in your physical world. This is why two people can face identical circumstances yet experience entirely different outcomes. Their subconscious programming determines their reality. Nancy, a woman who struggled with chronic financial difficulties, discovered this truth through an unexpected encounter with an elderly mentor. For 40 years, she had lived under the weight of a belief installed by her father's words. Money doesn't grow on trees. This simple phrase, absorbed by her young mind, had shaped decades of financial struggle. Through conscious reprogramming, Nancy began to dismantle this limiting belief. She discovered that her financial reality wasn't fixed. It was merely reflecting back what her subconscious mind believed to be true. As she rewrote her internal programming, her external circumstances shifted with supernatural speed. Opportunities appeared. Unexpected income flowed, and her entire relationship with money transformed. Sacred practice, the mirror of the mind. Find a quiet space where you won't be disturbed. Close your eyes and journey back to your earliest memories. Listen for the voices that shaped your beliefs about life, success, and possibility. What phrases echo from your past? What limitations were accepted as truth? Write down the most powerful limiting belief you uncover. Now, craft a new statement that directly counters this limitation. Speak it aloud while holding your hand over your heart. Feel the vibration of these new words resonating through your being. Repeat this statement 108 times over the next 3 days, allowing it to sink deep into your subconscious mind. Watch as your reality begins to shift, reflecting back this new programming with perfect precision. The universe responds to your transformed consciousness like a mirror responding to light, showing you glimpses of possibility where once you saw only limitation. Remember, Your subconscious mind is always listening, always creating, always manifesting, even in moments when you believe nothing is happening. It works tirelessly beneath the surface of your awareness, weaving your thoughts and beliefs into the fabric of your experience. The power to rewrite your reality lies in reprogramming these deepest levels of belief, for they are the sacred soil from which all manifestation grows. Part 3, Mastery and Transformation. Chapter 21, The Sleeping Giant Within. In a secluded library among ancient texts, Orville spent countless hours searching for answers that seemed to hover just beyond his grasp. You see, within every human exists a dormant force, a creative power so vast it defies comprehension. Yet most walk through life unaware of this sleeping giant within. Your true nature is not what you have been led to believe. You are not a mere observer, pushed and pulled by external forces. You are the creator of all you experience, though layers of social conditioning have obscured this truth from your view. Orville's awakening came through an unexpected source. One evening, as he studied an age-worn manuscript, time seemed to stop. The boundaries between self and universe dissolved, revealing a startling truth. He had always been the author of his reality, unconsciously writing every chapter of his existence. This revelation exists within you as well. The power you seek is not external. It is your very essence, waiting to be recognized. Every limitation you perceive is merely a veil cast by beliefs that do not belong to your true nature. Martha, a seamstress, lived 50 years believing herself powerless against life's circumstances. Each morning, she would wake to the same struggles, the same fears, the same sense of limitation, until one moment changed everything. While threading her needle, a profound awareness washed over her. She had been creating her entire experience, stitch by stitch, through her own consciousness. In that instant of recognition, Martha's reality began to shift. The walls of limitation she had built crumbled, revealing infinite possibilities that had always existed. Her life transformed not through external change, but through awakening to her true nature as a conscious creator. Sacred practice, awakening the creator within. Find a quiet space where you can remain undisturbed. Close your eyes and allow your breath to become deep and rhythmic. Visualize yourself surrounded by walls of limitation, beliefs, doubts, fears that have contained your power. Now watch as these walls begin to dissolve, revealing an infinite expanse of pure potential. Feel the dormant force within your awakening, expanding beyond all perceived boundaries. This is your true nature, unlimited, unbounded, infinite in its creative potential. Remain in this expanded awareness for several minutes, allowing the truth of your being to replace all false limitations. Know that this power has always been within you, waiting to be recognized and expressed. As you open your eyes, carry this awareness with you into every moment of your day. You are not bound by the illusions of limitation. These are merely shadows cast by doubt and fear. You are the creator, awakening to your true power, a divine force expressing itself through your unique being. Let this truth resonate in your heart and guide your steps forward. The infinite potential you have glimpsed is not separate from you. It is your essential nature, waiting to manifest through your conscious choice and unwavering faith. Chapter 22. The Sacred Union of Thought, Emotion, and Energy. Through the mists of time, a sacred truth emerges. one that reveals the harmonious relationship between vibration and creation. In an old recording studio, Chester sat at his piano, fingers hovering above the keys. As the first note rang out, he felt something shift in the air around him. This was more than music. It was the language of the universe itself. You too possess this innate understanding of vibrational creation. When thought, emotion, and energy unite in perfect harmony, reality bends to your creative command. This trinity of manifestation has been whispered about in ancient texts, coded in sacred geometries, and embedded in the very fabric of existence. Just as a musician must align pitch, rhythm, and resonance to create beautiful music, you must align your thoughts, feelings, and energetic belief to orchestrate your desired reality. This is not mere theory. It is the fundamental law by which all things come into being. Chester discovered that when he infused his music with clear intention, genuine emotion, and unwavering belief, extraordinary events began unfolding in his life. Opportunities appeared as if summoned. Resources flowed effortlessly. Relationships transformed. The universe itself seemed to dance to the rhythm of his aligned consciousness. Evelyn, a quiet bookkeeper, never studied manifestation. Yet each evening she would sit in her garden, naturally combining three elements without realizing their power. Her thoughts would focus clearly on what she desired. Her heart would swell with gratitude as if it were already hers, and her entire being would resonate with quiet certainty. One by one, her desires materialized, each manifestation a testament to this unconscious mastery. The practice of vibrational alignment. Find a quiet space where you won't be disturbed, a sacred corner where the world's clamor cannot reach you. Close your eyes and bring to mind one desire, allowing all other thoughts to fade like mist before the morning sun. Now, rather than merely thinking about it, see it with crystal clarity in your mind's eye, as vivid and real as the ground beneath your feet. Feel the emotion of having received it. Let joy, gratitude, and excitement fill every cell of your body until you overflow with divine appreciation. Finally, allow your entire being to vibrate with absolute certainty that this is already yours, as sure as the stars wheel overhead. Hold this trinity of thought, feeling, and energy for several minutes, letting them merge into a single, powerful command to the universe. Feel how these three forces intertwine like golden threads, weaving the tapestry of your manifestation. This is the ancient art of vibrational creation, restored to its original power, practiced by masters throughout the ages who understood that reality springs forth from this sacred alignment. Chapter 23. The Divine Blueprint, Hidden in Your Soul's Memory. In the hallowed halls of a prestigious university, Wilbur traced his fingers over ancient geometric patterns etched into forgotten manuscripts. Numbers had always spoken to him, but these symbols whispered secrets far deeper than mere calculations. You, like Wilbur, carry within your being a divine blueprint, a sacred geometry of the soul that contains the master plan for your existence. This is not metaphor, but mathematical precision written in the language of spirit. As Wilbur studied these patterns, understanding dawned like the first rays of morning light. Every frustration, every inexplicable yearning, every moment of disconnect, these were simply indicators that he had strayed from his soul's intended frequency. The universe operates through precise vibrational mathematics, and your essence holds a unique equation meant to unlock your highest destiny. The ancient ones knew this truth. They understood that success was not about forcing square pegs into round holes, but about aligning with the divine architecture already encoded within. When you vibrate at the frequency of your true purpose, the universe conspires to clear your path. Viola had wandered through life feeling like a misplaced note in the universal symphony. She excelled at her corporate job, yet an emptiness echoed through her achievements. One quiet evening, as she sat beneath the stars, memories of childhood dreams washed over her. Hours spent tending to injured animals, the joy she felt in nurturing life back to health. In that moment, her soul's blueprint revealed itself. Within months, she had established a wildlife sanctuary, and for the first time, her existence felt aligned with a greater purpose. Your divine blueprint speaks through the whispers of your heart, through the dreams that have never left you, through the activities that make time dissolve into eternity. It is no accident that certain passions have followed you through life. These are coordinates on your soul's sacred map. Sacred practice, the blueprint revelation. Find a quiet space where you won't be disturbed. With pen and paper, close your eyes and journey back to your earliest memories. What activities made your heart sing? What dreams did you hold before the world told you to be practical? Write without censoring, allowing your soul's true frequency to emerge through your words. These remembered passions are not random. They are keys to unlocking your divine blueprint. Record every instance where you felt most alive, most aligned, most in flow with the universe. Look for patterns in these moments. They reveal the unique vibrational signature of your highest purpose. Your blueprint awaits activation. It has always been there, pulsing beneath the surface of your everyday existence, waiting for you to recognize its sacred geometry. Like a dormant seed yearning for spring's first light, your divine purpose stirs within, ready to unfold into magnificent expression. The universe has encoded your highest destiny into the very fabric of your being, in your talents, your deepest longings, and even in the challenges that have shaped your path. Now is the moment to awaken this sleeping giant, to align with the cosmic forces that have been orchestrating your journey since before time began. Chapter 24. The Supreme Power of Letting Go. In the bustling heart of the city, Benedict stood at his office window, gripping the quarterly reports until his knuckles turned white. For 20 years, he had built his empire through sheer force of will, controlling every detail, every outcome. Yet now, as the numbers blurred before his eyes, he felt it all slipping away. You see, the universe operates on a principle so counterintuitive that most spend lifetimes fighting against it. The harder you grasp, the more elusive your desires become. This is the paradox that lies at the heart of manifestation. When you release your iron grip on outcomes, when you loosen the chains of control, you align with the natural flow of universal energy. It is not in the striving, but in the surrendering that your power lies. Benedict learned this truth only after losing everything he thought mattered. In the depths of his despair, he discovered something remarkable. The moment he stopped forcing his way forward, life began moving in his favor. Opportunities appeared effortlessly, connections formed naturally, and success flowed from unexpected directions. Clara's story mirrors this ancient wisdom. For years, she lived in constant anxiety, meticulously planning every detail of her life. Her mind raced with worst-case scenarios, and her dreams remained just beyond reach. Until one day, exhausted from the weight of worry, she simply let go. In that moment of surrender, everything changed. The promotion she had struggled toward manifested without effort. The relationship she had given up on appeared when she least expected it. This is not mere coincidence, but the operation of a universal law. Attachment creates resistance, while detachment allows energy to flow freely. When you release your grip on how things must unfold, you open yourself to infinite possibilities. Practice the sacred release. Find a quiet space where you won't be disturbed. Close your eyes and bring to mind something you deeply desire but have been struggling to attain. Feel the weight of your attachment to this outcome, the tension it creates in your body. Now imagine this desire as a balloon in your hands. Slowly, deliberately, open your fingers and watch as it floats upward into the infinite sky. As it rises, say these words: I release my attachment to this outcome. I trust in the perfect unfolding of my highest good. Repeat this visualization daily, allowing yourself to feel the lightness that comes with true surrender. Chapter 25. The Receiving Principle. In a dimly lit workshop on the outskirts of town, Edgar hunched over his workbench, surrounded by ingenious inventions that gathered dust. His creations could revolutionize industries, yet recognition and success remained elusive. Night after night, he toiled, pushing harder, working longer, wondering why the world refused to see his brilliance. You must understand that the universe operates through the law of allowing. When you strain and struggle to achieve your desires, you create resistance that blocks the very abundance trying to reach you. This resistance stems from a deeper truth. You believe you must earn what you desire through suffering and strain. The ancient masters knew that abundance flows naturally to those who open themselves to receive. Like a river that cannot be forced upstream, prosperity follows the path of least resistance. Your role is not to make it happen, but to allow it to happen. Edgar's transformation began the day he stopped trying to prove his worth. He simply began treating his creations as gifts already destined for those who needed them. Within weeks, investors appeared at his door. Opportunities emerged from unexpected places, and his innovations found their way to exactly the right people. Consider Lucille, who spent years believing she had to struggle to deserve success. Her bank account remained empty despite endless effort until she learned the art of receiving. One morning, she looked in the mirror and declared, "I allow abundance to flow into my life." She began accepting compliments gracefully, receiving help willingly, and embracing opportunities without guilt. Soon, her life overflowed with prosperity in all forms. Practice the mirror of acceptance. Stand before a mirror each morning. Look into your eyes and speak these words: I open myself to receive all the abundance the universe offers. Notice any resistance that arises. Where do you feel unworthy? What gifts have you been refusing? Write down these insights. Each day, practice accepting something small, a compliment, a favor, a moment of rest. As you strengthen your receiving muscle, watch how the universe responds with increasing generosity. Remember, you cannot receive with clenched fists. Release your grip on how abundance should appear, and trust that it flows naturally to those who stand ready to receive. Like water seeking its own level, prosperity moves toward those whose hearts remain open and expectant. When you release your rigid expectations of how blessings must arrive, you create space for the universe to surprise you with gifts beyond your imagination. The ancient masters knew this truth, that abundance flows not through force, but through surrender. Chapter 26. The Holographic Universe. In a sterile laboratory filled with gleaming equipment, Reginald adjusted the settings on his holographic projector. For years he had studied the nature of light and perception, but nothing prepared him for what he was about to discover. As he watched the three-dimensional image flicker before him, a startling revelation struck. The world around him possessed the same properties as his projected creation. You live within what appears to be a solid, unchangeable reality. Yet, just as a hologram seems real while being composed purely of light, your physical world is equally malleable. The ancients understood this profound truth. Reality is not fixed, but flows like water, taking the shape of whatever vessel consciousness provides. When you truly grasp that everything you perceive is a projection of mind, you gain the power to alter it. Your thoughts and beliefs are not merely passive observers, but active creators, continuously molding the holographic film of existence. Each moment, you unknowingly shape reality through your assumptions about what is possible. Consider Beulah, who lived trapped within rigid boundaries until she discovered this truth. One day, while watching clouds shift and transform, she realized her reality could be just as fluid. She began treating circumstances not as solid facts, but as temporary projections. When faced with an unwanted situation, she would close her eyes and edit it in her mind, much like adjusting a hologram's settings. To her amazement, external conditions began shifting to match her internal adjustments. The holographic reality exercise. Find a quiet space where you won't be disturbed and gently close your eyes. Take several deep breaths to center yourself. Now, imagine stepping back from the movie screen of your life, moving further and further until you can see the brilliant projector of consciousness creating every detail of your experience. Feel yourself as the observer, watching this grand display unfold before you. Now select any challenging circumstance in your life and view it as a holographic image floating before you, as temporary and changeable as light itself. See yourself reaching into this projection with confident hands, adjusting its properties as easily as tuning a radio dial. Notice how the once solid situation becomes fluid under your touch, responding to your intentional modifications. Feel the profound malleability of what previously seemed fixed and unmovable. Make the changes you desire with calm assurance, knowing that physical reality must inevitably conform to your new projection, just as a hologram shifts when its source is altered. Take time to fully experience this new configuration in your mind's eye. When you open your eyes, carry this deep understanding within. You are not bound by what appears before you. You are its creator, the master projectionist of your own reality. Chapter 27. Escaping the Matrix of Limitation. In the dim light of his study, Alfred sat surrounded by ancient texts and modern philosophical treatises. His eyes fixed upon a curious pattern. Every great thinker throughout history had glimpsed the same truth. Humanity lives within an invisible cage of its own making. You have been taught since birth to accept limitations that do not exist. Like a mighty elephant tethered by a simple rope, you remain bound by nothing more than thoughts accepted as truth. The walls of your prison are built from beliefs passed down through generations. This is impossible. That cannot be done. This is just how things are. What you perceive as solid barriers are merely shadows cast by collective agreement. Society maintains order through these shared illusions, teaching you to doubt your infinite potential. Yet these constraints exist only in mind, dissolving the moment you dare to question them. Henrietta lived 40 years believing she could never travel beyond her small town. "People like me don't see the world," she would say, echoing the thoughts planted by well-meaning parents. Then one day, while watching birds soar freely overhead, something shifted within her. If these creatures knew no borders, why should she? That simple question shattered her mental chains. Within months, she had visited 3 continents, discovering that her only limits had been self-imposed stories. Your reality-bending practice. Sit in complete stillness and identify 3 beliefs that have restricted your movement through life. Write each one down. Now, find evidence that contradicts these limitations. Someone who has already done what you believe impossible. Feel the walls of your mental prison crumble as you recognize these barriers as illusions. Stand up and physically walk through the space where you once perceived obstacles. Your mind will resist. This is natural. But with each step, you demonstrate to your subconscious that these limitations exist only in thought, not in truth. Remember, the prison dissolves not through force, but through the simple recognition that its walls were never real. You were born free. It is time to remember this truth. Like a bird that has lived so long in its cage that it fears the open sky, you may hesitate at the threshold of liberation. But your essence, your true nature, has always known boundless freedom. The barriers that seem so solid are but shadows cast by thoughts. Dispel the thought and watch the shadow fade. Trust in your innate power to soar beyond these self-created boundaries. Chapter 28. Identity Shifting. In the heart of a bustling city, Mortimer stood before his mirror, rehearsing lines for yet another audition that seemed destined to end in rejection. Night after night, he perfected his craft, yet success remained elusive, until he discovered an ancient truth that would transform everything. You see, reality responds not to what you do, but to who you believe yourself to be. Every morning, you step into an identity, a set of beliefs about who you are, and the universe conspires to make that self-image true. This is not mere positive thinking. It is the fundamental law governing all existence. When you change your identity, reality has no choice but to reorganize itself around your new self-concept. The world must reflect back to you what you hold as truth about yourself. This is why some people achieve overnight success, while others struggle endlessly. The difference lies not in their actions, but in their assumed identity. Mortimer discovered this truth one evening when, exhausted from rejection, he decided to simply become the successful actor he dreamed of being. He began moving through life as if his name already graced marquees, as if directors already sought his talent. Within weeks, opportunities emerged that had seemed impossible before. But perhaps more telling is the tale of Matilda, a woman who spent decades believing herself unworthy of abundance. She worked the same job for 20 years, accepting whatever life handed her. Then she learned about identity shifting. Instead of trying to change her circumstances, she changed her self-concept. She began carrying herself as someone naturally blessed with good fortune. She spoke as someone who expected excellence. She was thought of as someone who was attracted to opportunity effortlessly. The world responded with stunning speed. A chance encounter led to a dream position. An unexpected inheritance arrived, relationships transformed. Nothing in her external reality had changed, except her identity. Your reality shifting practice. Find a quiet space where you won't be disturbed, a sacred corner where you can commune with your highest self. Close your eyes and breathe deeply, allowing each breath to carry you deeper into alignment. Now, step fully into the identity of who you wish to become, letting this new self envelope you like a golden light. How does this version of you walk? Do they move with grace and certainty? How do they speak? With what tone? What conviction? What thoughts fill their mind throughout the day? What do they believe about themselves and the world around them? Feel these answers arising naturally from within. For the next 7 days, maintain this new identity in every moment, treating it as your truest self. Move through your day as if you are already this person, not pretending, but embodying. Let every gesture, every word, every choice flow from this elevated consciousness. Watch with quiet confidence as reality bends to match your new self-concept, for the universe cannot help but reflect back the truth you hold within. Chapter 29. Beyond Manifestation. In the mountains of Tibet, where ancient wisdom still whispers through temple halls, there lived a man named Harlan, who spent decades searching for the ultimate truth of existence. Though he had mastered many spiritual practices, something essential eluded him, until one moonlit night changed everything. You must understand that beyond all techniques and methods lies a truth so simple, yet so powerful, that most overlook it entirely. The universe is not separate from you. It is you, expressing itself through countless forms. When you truly grasp this, manifestation becomes unnecessary, for you are the very flow of creation itself. Most seekers spend years trying to attract their desires, unaware that this very effort creates separation. They position themselves as beings reaching for something outside themselves, when in truth, everything already exists within. This is why the law of flow supersedes all other universal laws. It dissolves the illusion of separation entirely. Through this understanding, you begin to recognize that every breath, every heartbeat, every moment is the universe expressing itself through your form. There is no need to direct or control, for the flow of existence knows exactly where to carry you. Consider the story of Opal, a woman who spent 20 years pursuing spiritual advancement through rigid practices and strict disciplines. Despite her dedication, true fulfillment remained beyond her grasp. One day, exhausted from striving, she simply let go. In that surrender, something extraordinary happened. She felt herself become one with the river of life itself. As Opal released all resistance, miracles began occurring naturally. Opportunities appeared without effort, relationships healed themselves, and abundance flowed effortlessly. She had discovered what the ancient masters knew. When you become the flow, life lives itself through you perfectly. Sacred practice, the river of being. Find a quiet space where you won't be disturbed. Close your eyes and imagine yourself as a leaf floating on a river. Feel how the water supports you completely, carrying you exactly where you need to go. Now expand your awareness. You are not just the leaf, but the river itself. Feel yourself as the flowing water, the riverbed, the banks, the sky above. Let go of any need to direct or control your course. Simply be the flow of existence itself. Maintain this state of unified awareness throughout your day. When decisions arise, don't force them. Allow them to emerge naturally from your expanded state of being. Watch as life begins orchestrating itself perfectly through you, without effort or strain. Chapter 30. The Final Truth. In the depths of an ancient monastery, hidden from the world's prying eyes, there lived a mystic named Elmer, who devoted his life to uncovering the ultimate secret of existence. For 40 years he studied sacred texts, performed rituals, and sought wisdom from spiritual masters. Yet the answer he sought remained elusive, until one ordinary morning changed everything. You stand now at the threshold of the deepest truth, one that has been waiting patiently for you to discover it. All your seeking, all your spiritual practices have led you to this singular revelation. You are not separate from the creative force of the universe. You are that force itself, expressing through human form. The greatest illusion keeping you from your true power is the belief that you must reach outside yourself to create, manifest, or attract anything. This very belief creates the experience of separation, keeping you searching endlessly for what already exists within you. Consider the story of Josephine, a woman who spent years attempting to master manifestation techniques. She followed every spiritual practice precisely, yet true mastery eluded her. One day, while sitting in her garden, everything shifted. She realized that the flowers, the trees, the birds, even her own thoughts and desires, were all expressions of the same infinite creative force. In that moment, she stopped trying to create and simply allowed creation to flow through her. From that day forward, Josephine no longer needed to manipulate reality. She had become one with the source of all creation itself. Her life transformed not through effort or practice, but through the simple recognition of what she had always been. Sacred unity. Practice. Sit quietly and close your eyes. Feel the breath moving through your body. Now, gradually expand your awareness beyond the boundaries of your physical form. Let the distinction between you and everything else gently dissolve. Feel yourself as the space in which all experience arises. Notice that your thoughts, emotions, and the entire world around you are appearing within your consciousness, like waves arising from and returning to the same vast ocean. Rest in this recognition of your true nature as the source of all creation. Conclusion. Through these sacred chapters, an ancient truth has awakened within you, a truth that was never lost, merely sleeping beneath layers of worldly conditioning. You have not learned anything new. Rather, you have remembered what your soul has always known. The veil between illusion and reality has dissolved, revealing your true nature as the architect of existence itself. As you sit with this revelation, notice how your perception has already begun to shift. The world around you appears more fluid, more responsive to your consciousness. This is not imagination. It is the natural result of remembering your true identity as the source of all creation. The signs of your awakening are already manifesting. Perhaps you've noticed unexpected synchronicities increasing, desired opportunities appearing with surprising ease, or challenging situations resolving themselves without effort. These are not coincidences. They are reality conforming to your expanded awareness. You now understand that every experience, every circumstance in your life, has been a reflection of your consciousness. The limitations you once perceived were only shadows cast by forgotten truths. As this understanding deepens, watch how reality bends naturally to accommodate your awakened state. This manuscript has served its purpose, not as a teacher, but as a mirror, reflecting back to you what has always been true. You are not a seeker of wisdom, but wisdom itself expressed through human form. You are not a student of universal laws, but the very force that creates those laws. The power you now recognize within yourself cannot be diminished or forgotten again. Every word in these chapters has activated a remembrance that will continue to expand, transforming your experience of reality with each passing moment. Let this recognition settle deeply into your being. You are the source. You are the power. You are the creator you have been seeking. Reality now moves with you, not against you. Every moment is an opportunity to express your true nature as the infinite creative force of existence itself.
Your journey doesn't end here. Click on this next audiobook that I promise will completely transform your perspective.